Hello everybody, welcome to just a video that has been requested today on how I personally set up and record my ambient tracks. There's not really any major trick to it, but I think maybe from what I look at on YouTube as to how everyone else sets up stuff, I pretty much do it identical to them. I don't think there's anything I do differently. However, this is how I set up for recording ambient. And this is Blue here to help me. I know I didn't name Blue after the dinosaur in Jurassic Park, but I could have if I had got the guitar after that had come out, or Jurassic World, sorry. I called it Blue because I'm a massive Green Day fan, and Billy Joe Armstrong calls his guitar blue as well. So, twins, yay! Anyway, let me just turn the screensaver off. So what I do, I'm using Logic Express on this really old iMac that I brought back to life. I've got this green thing along here, I hope you can see it. That is a hip-hop drum loop, and the reason I use a hip-hop drum loop is to get a groove going. I don't really see the point of playing straight notes, even though it's not traditionally a groove-based genre, ambient guitar. I like to give mine a little bit of pizzazz and give it a little bit of life, because without a good solid drum beat, what's the point of even doing anything? Which is, I guess, maybe counteractive to ambient guitar, which is meant to have no form. I give mine a little bit of form. Mine are also really repetitive as well, if you've listened to them. And I normally use the exact same chord structure or chord progression in almost every single one of them. Mostly as an experiment, so that I can be like, oh, what else can I do with this chord progression? But also a little bit of familiarity, and some stuff just really works from an emotional and emotive perspective in music. So I like to build as much as I can out of something that I know really affects the emotions. So sometimes when I'm playing, I'm like, oh, that's so nice and pretty, and get really emotional when I'm playing it, when I'm recording it, because I don't practice these. So here's the trick. I come up with a repetitive riff and then I hit record. So sometimes you'll notice that I miss the fuck-ups and I don't edit them out. So Lo-Fi Ambient number 32, I forgot, or I didn't realise that there was such a bad fuck up in it, and I just uploaded it, I don't think with any editing at all apart from stuck it to the video. Whoops. I did actually used to edit them a little bit better to start with, and I think I kind of dropped the ball on the last maybe 5 or 6. I straight up forgot that I would go into Logic and master them. So all I've done is exported and put them in Final Cut and uploaded straight to YouTube via the Final Cut portal. I don't upload within YouTube itself. So totally missed probably the last 5 or 6 that I've uploaded. However, I digress. Let's have a look at how I've set up a Logic Express. Rhyming. So I have this template that I've made, and I pretty much just, because it's ambient, lock it to about 70 beats a minute. Sometimes I'll change that, not often though. So the majority of my stuff is about 70 beats per minute if I have tap tempo. And you can check all the description boxes, because I've put what pedals I've used for what songs in all of the description boxes for every single ambient or drone that I have created from the very beginning. Even if I had to go back and add it, it's been added. You can see the pedals that I've used. So that's always helpful. if it's an analog pedal, which is just a little bit too far to reach, I don't use tempo. I would just put it on maybe the longest repeat that it can do, because they're usually about 100 or 96 beats per minute as the slowest, because they're not really designed for ambient guitar. Plus, you can double your repeats. So if my BPM in Logic is 70, you can double your repeats to 140 and make them half beat repeats instead of whole beat repeats if you got it down to 70. It's very technical, but that's what I do when I don't have tap tempo. Today, I'm about to sneeze. No, I'm not. Today I'm using the Boss DD200. I forgot which one it was. The DD200 has tap tempo, plus it has subdivisions. So I have it on 70, but my subdivision is a half beat, which effectively makes it 140 beats a minute. I'm also using the MD200, which is why I had to check what the code was for the delay. So I'm using the Boss modulation pedal as well, also locked to 70 beats a minute with a really nice phaser. So, sorry, I forgot to turn my screensaver off before I hit record, and anyway, this is coming through that amp behind me, so that's what we'll be playing with, that's the sound that we'll be playing with, but I will be connecting the amp to my sound card, which will turn it off, and I'll have to edit that in post later because I'll be putting in headphones so that I can jam along to my click track that I've created, which is actually a drum track. I think we're getting a little bit off track, speaking about tracks, with this video, but without going too much into the pedals, aside from the two Boss pedals that I mentioned, I have the Keeley compressor, and I also have, so the reverb I'm using is the Digitech Polara. I have a couple, so I had to check. And I think it sounds like it's on the whole setting. I'm going to say whole because it's not really doing anything apart from sounding big. Yeah, and it's dark down there as well, so I can't really see where the knob's pointed, but I'm going to say it's on whole. Even if it's not, it's now on whole. The next thing I do when I'm creating is just come up with a riff, which I kind of glossed over before. So we're just going to be doing this kind of riff. And then we'll make a bass line, which so it's going to be B flat, G, F as our bass line. And the thing that helps you arrange and compose is having at least a basic knowledge of theory so that you at least know what notes you're playing. We'll touch very briefly on that actually. So this note here is B flat, but I don't have perfect pitch, so I wouldn't be able to play it and go, that's a B flat. The way I found out that that's a B flat is because I then did an octave by putting my finger 2 strings down, 2 frets down to make the top and bottom of a power chord. That's how I know it's an octave. And then I can look at the fret and say, oh, actually that is a B flat. So my starting note is the B flat. If you do theory, like, just ignore what I'm saying, but this is very, very much aimed at people that don't know particularly much about guitar. I don't know particularly much about theory, but I've been playing guitar a long time. Actually, can't even work it out. 1994. However long ago that was. 26 years, yeah. Okay, so I've been playing guitar a really long time. I know where the notes are on the guitar, even if I don't know what note I'm playing at the time, and I know my way around the fretboard relatively well. So yeah, I can kind of like I guess fluke it quite a bit. I mean, sometimes I don't, and that's when I have bad notes in my recordings. But what I will do is I will turn the camera off, turn it back on, but I'm going to set up this for recording, and while I'm recording, maybe I'll explain what I'm doing, but essentially all I'm going to do is track the little composition, the little riffs that we just came up with, which is going to play that not for 10 minutes, not for however long my compositions usually are, just do a quick little loop, and then I will put B flat, the G, and the F underneath that as our bass notes. I haven't, before I do that, I haven't connected up a volume pedal, which is what I normally would do for my tracks. That's so that you can hear the notes that I'm using to make this track. The volume pedal is great, but obviously if you listen to other tracks that I've created, you can't actually hear what notes happening and when. It all is designed to wash, which is, I guess, the whole point of ambient anyway. But I've just not put that in the chain today. And we're also, so many things I've forgotten because I normally have a script. We're also not going to loop because I'm not very good at it. But if I was good at it, I would be using my looper that I purchased and have not really even used. So that's something to learn. But this tutorial, rough tutorial, not really a tutorial, is essentially just how I've been creating the tracks that I've already posted up until this point. I want to actually do some live looping, so I'm going to have to force myself to learn how to use the looper a little bit better, or a lot better than I currently use loopers, because I get so carried away that I forget when to turn them on and off, and then my loops are all out of sync, and it's quite horrendous to listen to it, which is why I've never done looping so far. But let's just knock together this little loop. I will be back in about 2.5 nanoseconds through the magic of video editing. Oh my god, it's like I never even left, except now I suddenly have headphones in. I would normally be using... Let's see how much stuff I can drop on the floor. I'd normally be using proper tracking headphones. These ones are kind of shit. What are they? What are you? I can't see with the light. These are the MD200 Pro, and these are even too small ear cups for my tiny ears, so I probably couldn't recommend those, although they are closed and they have decent replication. I would probably pick something else next time though, knowing what I know now. Nope, that's empty. I just broke things, cool. Normally I would use the Sennheiser 202, which actually looks nothing like that, so that's good. But I am a woman and I tend to wear makeup, and the ear cups of those have been destroyed through the makeup maybe building up and being quite disgusting, and yeah, then the makeup makes the ear cups disintegrate. So that's where I'm at with my HD202s. Aren't you glad I told you that little story? Anyway, so back to how we record. Obviously, we want to check if we've got some levels coming through. I'm not sure how much that will display, probably not very well, but we're hitting about minus 12 decibels, which is good. We don't want it too loud, we don't want it too quiet, but anyway between 18 and 12 negative decibels, because you can't breach 0 unless you want digital clipping, which decibels are kind of weird like that. Nevertheless, what we'll do... Oh, this is a very short cable. My hard drive is going to fire up. Actually, it's obviously been asleep. So I'll just record that riff to start with, and then we'll do the bass line. But I've just got my track set up as guitar 1, guitar 2, guitar 3 and guitar 4. And a lot of the time I will actually use a mono pedal setup and I'll double track it. And I just use that basically as a meditation as well, because I'm recording like a 10-minute long track without looping twice. So it's very meditative. And actually, the reason that I do that, aside from kind of sucking at the looper, is I really like the variation that you get when you record something for a really long time. So even though sometimes I'll fuck it up, you've got the different pick attack from every single time you hit the strings. You might put your finger somewhere slightly different and get a little bit of string buzz. You might get a little bit of finger noise on the strings. So there's a lot of variations that I really like the texture of. I mean, most people probably would disagree, and that's fine, but that's also another reason that I like to record the whole thing, because it makes it a performance rather than a loop. And yeah, you can make a performance out of loops, but that's why I do it. That's just me, that's my thing. Torturing myself and my fingers for endless amounts of time when I could probably just quickly loop it and it would take me 1/10 of the time. Anyway, so in Logic, ooh, there's a giant fly on the wall, that's gross. Anyway, ignore him. In Logic, if you've got it set up to your basic key commands, you can hit R for record, and off we go. See, I missed a note. And that bit was a little bit out of time. as I play, I kind of imagine where the next thing's going to come in. Sometimes I hum it. No, that just confused me. That time. So we'll just end it there and listen to it ring out a little bit. You always want to make sure that you're recording the tail of your delays as well. And that's about it for that take. Let me just, oh god, this cable's so short. I just turned off click while record. It's kind of annoying. And also, my drum track was on straight up 0 decibels, so that was kind of deafening. But then I think I gave myself a 4 count in, 4 bars, that is, not 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 bars to get in the groove. I don't know why I do that. I do that with all of my recordings, whereas my brother just is like literally two counts in, and then, so it's like 1, 2 in, which I feel is a little rushed, especially for ambient. You kind of need to get in the chill zone, and even for punk and whatever else stupid songs that I record, I'm always inclined to let myself get into the moment before it actually hits where I'm about to start my recording. So I'm not sure if that helps you. That was a good catch. I'm not sure if that helps you, but that's what I do for recording as well, because I want to be in the zone. I don't want to feel like I'm rushed going into a recording at all. That said, we are going to move the cursor. How many bars have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I said bars, but I meant measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to make that bass line, which is literally just chords, start at bar 21. And I'm going to give myself 4. Actually, I'll just give myself 2 bars counting. So we're going to start our count in at bar 19. And again, we just hit R to record. Set up your recording software so that you can just hit one button rather than a whole series of buttons or hit the mouse or whatever. It's literally a lifesaver. So here we go. That was only 1 turn of it. Probably not long enough actually. We want to keep the bass line long. So there's 4 bars of the B flat, and now 2 each of F and G and F. So that's G, and this is F. And we probably could have changed the beats. Subdivisions of the delay actually, not the beats. And because it's short, we're just going to end on the B flat there and let the top melody go for longer again, which you might notice I do quite a bit of in my recordings. So there's your basic melody and your bass line. And then from there, I pretty much just goof off and let's just we'll just arm track 3 there. Actually, we'll take you back to the start. So pressing enter will take you back to the start in Logic. And yeah, so all I've got is that really sweet, I kind of feel like it's very pure top melody there. And your bass line's obviously just chords. And from there, I pretty much just goof off and I come up with as many variations as I can. Oh, it's raining. It's actually pouring. It's pissing down. So I come up with as many variations as possible, and that is another reason that I tend to use the same chord progressions over and over, because you can't put every idea in a song, especially an ambient song, and then be like, here you go, here's something with 400 tracks. So I just kind of like separate them out and take them into other files and start again. Yeah, like that's literally all I do to create my ambient, with the exception that, unlike almost everyone else doing it, I play the entire length. So if you hear a guitar part that plays for 12 minutes, I've played it for 12 minutes. And if you hear something that comes in and goes out, I've played it for that amount of time as well. And it's probably a very long, convoluted way of doing ambient guitar, but as I said, it's also extremely relaxing and meditative, so I'll probably continue to do that for a while to come. And if you found this helpful, then chuck us a like and a subscribe, and we'll do some giveaway stuff at 500 subs, I think. Not big, because Australia Post will not ship anything large out of the country at this point. I'm sure that will pick up by the time 500 subs rolls around, but let's do a giveaway at 500. Those headphones are annoying. Get yourself some good headphones. I will catch you very soon. If you want more of this kind of content, let me know in the comments below. I'm open to requests within reason, within my own capacity. I'll let you know if I can't do it, but if you have a request and it's more along the production line, I would love to make that video for you. If it's a request of a pedal that I don't currently own at this stage because of the whole financial collapse kind of deal, I probably can't afford to go out and buy too many more pedals for a channel that I have no income for. But I'll try. If I've got the pedal and I've done a video on it previously and you think I've missed something, let me know as well, and I will take a look. We'll do a version 2.0 of that. I need to address this fly issue as well, so I will catch you very, very soon. Before I go, go away. I would like to, this is very important because of what's been going on, and I hope my camera's still rolling because it doesn't have a button to say that it is filming. I would like to do at the end of my video an acknowledgement of country, which is something that I think should be a little bit more prevalent in Australia, and I feel like maybe the best way to change perceptions on that is to do it myself. I'm a little bit too scared of online trolls to do it at the start of my videos at this point, but I would like to end my video by reading out this statement of acknowledgement of country. So I acknowledge the Kombu Meri people of the Yugambeh Nation as the traditional custodians of the land that this video was filmed on. So thank you very much if you watched all the way to the end, and I will see you very soon.